The community has spoken, and my only concern is for me to be properly enough hydrated to handle this. But, anyways, what's up, guys? So, today I finally get to do the answers to the questions from the Ask Xamry video that I did like a month ago. So I think enough time has passed to where everyone submitted what they wanted to know. So I get to go through it now and I guess supply the responses. So to start us off, I have Mr. Saw asking, what is your origin? And I get that question warily often. So all I have to say is that there's three possibilities to this. The first one is when you have ideally a couple that is in love, very much in love, good stuff happens. But then there's also the possibility that they're not so much in love and then alcohol was involved. So, you had a product. But then there's also the possibility that these people really just got involved, got together, and then stuff happened. So I don't want to get really graphic about it, but that's all you got to know. But if you want to know the social and political answer to the question, like when it comes to nationalities and everything, I don't understand what is so difficult about believing that I'm an American. But I ain't gonna sit here and explain why I look or sound the way I do. You're just gonna have to trust me that I'm from the land of the States. And if you're not convinced by it by now, then I don't know what else to tell you. There's nothing else to it. Like, there really isn't. So, like I said, you're just gonna have to trust me that that is the truth because it is. So, so that's it's like I said, I've gotten that question so warily often throughout my life that I have to resort in a sarcastic way to answering it because it gets exhausting. It's really, really, really exhausting. Like there's nothing to it. I just am the way I am. So it doesn't really make me cringe or irritate me as much as it used to. But seriously, it just sucks that every day of my life, all I have to do is make a sound, and then people immediately just hear something and they come up with their own conclusions. Like, no, leave me alone. So, anyways, then Jimmy Boy says, yes, we need an origin story. And what are your superpowers? Well, my superpowers are that I can definitely talk for hours, or in the same manner, I can be silent for days. So I know that's not an impressive superpower, but if I had to say something that's outstanding about me on a physical level is although I don't really stretch much, I'm super flexible. But that comes down to genetics. It's not something that I chose to just have. But I guess superpowers is something that in the fictional world, characters are just born with. But also, this should not even be part of the list, but I think my memory is really, really remarkably good. So because I have not really met someone who can match me at that, well, I take that back. I presently do know someone. But I feel like that is a superpower because people just cannot remember stuff. And sometimes I remember people's business better than themselves. Like, I'm like, oh, did you ever get around to doing this and that? And they're like, oh, I told you about that? When? And I'm like, 2 days ago? So how do you just have a terrible memory? So because of how much detail I can recall stuff with, maybe that's why I feel like calling it a superpower. Because, like I said, it is rare that I encounter someone that can match my ability to like recollect events. So, anyways, what are the things that make you laugh and also, what's up with all the pictures on the walls? Well, the things that make me laugh, this is kind of a complicated one because some stuff that is supposed to make me laugh, I may not find funny, but then sometimes it's more about the way people say things that make me laugh more than the content itself. And recently, it has happened to me so much. Like especially my mom when she starts venting at me or ranting at me about something. Sometimes it's not even like the situation is not even that hilarious. What's hilarious is her sarcasm and the way she says things. And sometimes one of my favorite things in life has to be people's impressions of other people when they absolutely do not sound anything like the person they're trying to do an impression of. To me, that just kills me because I just cannot handle it. And I myself do that. Sometimes I try to do an impression of someone and I absolutely fail miserably at it. So I just end up finding that funny. And another thing that I find funny is terrible drawings. There was this trend a couple of days ago on Twitter where there's this guy that draws other people, but it's like a doodle and it looks incredibly terrible. But if I tried to recreate that drawing, I can't do it. It's an ability that he has. So um, when you hear someone saying, "Oh, I know how to draw," you expect some good level of art, like detailed and flawless, impressive, and all that. But when I see terrible art that still looks good, I find that funny. So clearly, this person on Twitter, his ballpoint art is about that. The idea is for it to look terrible, and he also takes pieces of paper that to make someone's features look exaggerated, like someone's neck. He used 6 sheets of paper, I think, to recreate someone's neck because he thought that this person had a really long neck. So, that's terrible. It's exaggerated, but I find that hilarious. So when it comes to me and laughing, really, it's it's all about how it's delivered, pretty much. Sometimes I look at the comments section and you guys say hilarious stuff for me, like stuff that I guess is supposed to be offensive or like trigger me or something. I find it hilarious. So that's why in a video a while ago, I was like, you guys can keep trolling me all you want. You're not going to get to me. So I'm not trying to really promote that kind of behavior, but keep it coming because I'm enjoying it. As long as you don't try to do any of that in real life, if you happen to see me, because that's gonna be trouble. Don't mess with me. But yeah, if you're just going to throw words at me, like I'm not affected. And then what's up with all the pictures on the walls? Well, if I could, if I had like a fish eye view of the lens, you would see that my entire wall is full of people. But really, it's mainly the stuff that I like. There are Pokemons, there are actors, there are Dragon Ball Z characters, cars, people who I know, and my art, my own art, like Metal Gear Solid, and then pretty much any picture that I see, I like to keep because I don't know what I'll do with it. Either I'll create art of my own with it, or I just like what I see and I want to use it for decorative purposes. But yeah, primarily everything that you see, it has to do with them being my friends or favorite actors or just people look nice. Like this guy right here, I don't even know who he is, but I have an absolute weakness for guys who wear suit and ties and it's black and then the shirt inside the collar shirt is white and then the tie is black. So that's also why I have JT right there wearing that. Like it's I have a weak spot for that. So yeah. But yeah, primarily it's Metal Gear Solid, X-Men stuff, or Marvel stuff, or Pokemon, because that's life. And Dragon Ball Z, if I mentioned it. Steve asks, what is my IQ? You know what? I don't even know. I feel like I tried taking an IQ test and I really have no recollection of what my results were, but But when it comes to that, I'm one of those people who just believes that that's not an accurate representation of how to measure someone's like cognitive capabilities, if that's what IQ is supposed to be all about. Because that what I liked about the test was that it gave you a warning about it not being timed because it's about performance and not your performance under stress. So I like that. But at the same time, I'm like, can this test truly tell me what I am about, what I can do? So I don't mess with that. I don't take it seriously. So I don't think I'll ever do that again. Adam Navi says the splendid thing about life, though it can be cruel, it is also mysterious, filled with wonder and surprise. Sometimes the surprises are so amazing that they qualify as miraculous, and by witnessing those miracles, a despondent person could discover a reason to live. A cynic could obtain unexpected relief from a world where pop culture reigns. Your YouTube page says so much by proving less is more. Do I have questions? Nada. Why? Your vids are tiny bits of delightful reveals for me, gifts wrapped in sincerity with a bow from the heart. That's cool. That's cool. See, I feel like my channel can be kind of tricky when it comes to that because I talk a lot. I go over many topics. So I feel like little by little, I'm leaving you guys with like not a lot of room for questioning. But at some point, you guys ask stuff that gives me ideas for a video. And I'm like, oh yeah, I would have never considered that on my own because as my own individual being, I'm only capable of coming up with so much independently. So that's why there's more to the world and the planet and society than just one person inhabiting it. So that's why I just appreciate what you guys have to say. But yeah, that was a pretty sweet comment to read. Mr. One Cat says, I hope this isn't too personal. I would like to ask, are you Brazilian? I'm sorry if my question is too intrusive, by the way. I think you're extremely beautiful. Well, thanks for the compliment. And am I Brazilian? No. We went over that. But at the same time, when I look at my phenotype, I can understand why people would have their questions. So it's just whatever. It's just whatever. Her name is not very common here. The generic genetic traits look really Latino, but I believe she has some offspring in Middle Eastern countries. I would not be surprised if she was Jewish or Arab. They have good genetics, especially women. Nobody, absolutely nobody ever guesses United States. And the reason I don't say an exact place is because I'm not trying to reveal my location. You know what I'm saying? But but yeah, as far as I know, there's not a single drop of Asian in my genetics, at least not immediately. Like, if it's true that we all come from the same person, then yeah. But as of maybe 6, 7 generations ago, um, it's nothing but European and some African, and yeah. But you just have to trust me that I have nothing to do with Asia. And then what else? Um, Middle Eastern. If she was Jewish or Arab, but yeah, I absolutely know nothing about that. So please, I implore you, you just have to trust me. But yeah, I made a video about this already, but the ancestry that I am aware of is there is Italian, French, and then what am I missing? Italian, French, and on my dad's side there is Spaniard. Like, I don't want to say just Spanish because it may be confusing, but from actually Spain, so that's why I like to just wrap it up by saying European. But, um, I'll consider doing that thing that everybody's doing called ancestry.com or something, and then, do whatever I have to do to find that out. But I don't exactly have $100 to just throw away, so I'm not in a hurry for that. And besides, my mom has told me about what is going on her side of the family, so I really don't have questions. I know what I am. So I know that there's a mix somewhere because this is America, and you know that mixing happened. So maybe, just maybe, that's why I look the way I look. Because little by little, those traits just started getting lost. You know, I'm not designed to be pale. But like I said, you just have to trust me that I know where I'm from. You just, please, trust me. On your off time, LA Asian guy says, when not doing YouTube, any hobbies that you love? For me, I like to keep in shape, so after work, I head straight to the gym. Since I am in my early 40s, I decided to stay in shape from now on. Well, yes, there is more to my majestic life than just YouTube. On my off time, I enjoy writing, which I definitely do not do as much as I used to. Like from 2011 all the way to 2015, I used to write a lot, like regularly. Like every day, I had to write pages upon pages upon pages of entries. But then I said, yeah, this isn't really doing much for me anymore. So my handwriting has gotten incredibly terrible. But anyways, nowadays I have a little project going on where I am writing down every single thing that people tell me that I consider a really good memory, whether for personal growth or just nice things that people tell me, or also difficult times that I went through, how it made me feel, why it made me feel, so that years later I can revisit it and be like, oh yeah, I remember when this horrible memory made me, cry myself to sleep and everything. But then I also remember the time when someone told me this that blew me away, and I felt so great. And now I read it years later, and I remember how much kindness I received and stuff like that. So yeah, really, writing for me, it has many meanings, but nowadays I reserve it for very very special occasions. Um, but in addition, I like to drive. I Of course, I like to do it responsibly. I don't like to just get out my car and just burn gas and mileage and do nothing. I like to plan my day and be like, awesome, I will try to do on this day that I intend to be out of the house. I'll try to do as many things as I can and choose a route that's, you know, good. But if it were up to me, I would rent a car and go back to the other towns that I've lived at just for the sake of memory, because I have not really driven much in my hometown. So I would love to do that. And really, that's what I want to do. Like for one of my birthdays, hopefully I can spoil myself and be like, I'm a rent a Camry or another Corolla and just drive, because I just love to drive. And sometimes I wonder what my favorite part about driving is, the act of driving or listening to music. But then if you combine the act of driving with good music, it's absolutely awesome. You know, it's just really therapeutical for me. Like some 4 days ago, I was really stressed out. So I said, I need my keys and just. So I left and I felt great. I absorbed the scenery, which normally when I'm driving, all I do is look at the road, scan for people and other cars, and then look at the road. But I don't really get to look at to my side, look out the window and see what houses are there. Like there's this road where I like to call it the rich people land, because those houses look like mansions. And I'm like, there are many houses that I've been living in this current city for like 5 years now, and I have not noticed some of them. I'm like, has that house always been there? Did it get remodeled and everything? But when you're the driver, you have to be responsible. And if I were to take my eyes off the road very easily, disaster can happen. So yeah, another thing I like to do is drawing, which you see some of it on my walls. And that is one of those things that I cannot do on command. It has to be when I feel like it, when the muse hits me, like I have to jump into it. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with my skill level at drawing, because it used to be that I could not as a friend says, draw to save my life. But now all of a sudden, I discovered that I can actually do it if I try and put my mind into it, and I'm in the mood. So yeah. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm a very easy person to maintain. Had this been taking place 5 years ago, I would have said gaming. But I can't say that I'm a gamer anymore. So, anyways, what do you do for sports? Do a video on your routine activities. I'll consider it. But when it comes to sports, I have an immense love for volleyball and basketball. Like, those are the only sports that I need in my life. And I was never in any teams, especially after I started wearing glasses. I said, I cannot afford to have a ball hit me on my face while I wear glasses. So I sort of, my passion for that sort of like dwindled a bit. But those are my two favorite sports. Then at some point with my mom, I picked up tennis. I had no idea that I could be good at tennis. And then I enjoy it. I have the racks and some balls in my car's trunk, but I just don't have someone to play with. But yeah, tennis, volleyball, and basketball. That's all I need in my life. But to actually stay fit, I just do the gym, like lift, cardio, and run up the stairs in my house. So yeah, I'm not really big on sports like that. I guess my looks may suggest that, but I don't even know the rules of basketball. I don't officially know the rules of volleyball, much less tennis. Like, all I do is kill the ball by just hitting it, you know. but but yeah, yeah, I like sports. I'm an active person, but it's not like I'm devoted to them. So if you talk to me about football, I won't know who you're talking about or what you're talking about. I don't understand football. I wish I did. All I hear is the whistle. Everyone starts repositioning themselves somehow. And then at some point, someone throws the ball and someone's trying to tackle them. And once they tackle it, we go back to that cycle of repositioning ourselves and the whistle sounding. So football is like, it's a great sport to look at because of the guys. But at the same time, thinking about it logically, I don't get it. So if any of you guys would like to take the time to explain to a sister how football works in very simplistic terms, you go for it. Let's see. Where are you originally from? How tall are you? I am 5'7". How many cups of coffee do you drink in a day? None. Zero. I do not drink mud with sugar in it or milk in it. No mud for this girl. If you could go back and change one thing about your past, not to live with regret though, what would it be? To tell you the truth, this is a question I've always struggled with because I'm not a person to really obsess about changing the past. I'm obsessed about the stuff that happened in the past that affected me and I cannot seem to get over. Um God, this is gonna be a little more difficult than I thought, but if I could change one thing, I guess it would be not having taken the classes that I meant to when I was in high school. And what kept me from taking those classes is that they were full before my schedule was made, you know? Or one of them was that I was already too late to make changes to my schedule, but there was room in the class. But I wasn't really sure that that was the class I wanted. But yeah, honestly, that's it. And now that I think about it, the way my life is now, if I want to learn something, I get right on it. So I don't think that having taken that class would have made a difference. See what I mean? Um, but when it comes to changing an event or something, I don't I don't know. I honestly do not dwell on that. It's like life happens, move on. And now my current project is to learn to let go of the stuff that has impeded me from living my life to the fullest, especially on an emotional aspect. But anyways, everything in life takes time, so just work on it. A mistake, a missed opportunity, something you would do differently, etc. Also, rumor has it that you have six toes on your left foot. Nah, I might have to confirm that I do not have six toes. Antonio Brown asks, "Where all have you lived in the world?" I cannot help but suspect that that's a different way of asking where I am from. But for your comfort, in the world, I have only lived in the North American continent, specifically in the United States. I have never left the country, but hopefully that will change soon because I definitely have plans. And you guys should be hearing about it soon. There's no way I can hide that if I'm going to go away for days, assuming that everything goes well and this can happen, you know. So yeah, I'm excited because I'm one of those people who, this is probably gonna shock you, but I always said, I'm not gonna have any business leaving the country. I'll always be here and make my life here, and I don't see why I would need to travel. I made a video about this, but the idea of traveling is not that exciting for me. All that I enjoy is the plane ride because I there's some pilots in my family, so I guess that's just contagious. But for me to actually be like, oh my god, I'm going to go see the Eiffel Tower and this and that, no, no, that does not excite me. So yeah, I have not lived anywhere else. What is the meaning of life for you, and what is important in your life? Asks the real hood one. Um, this is going to sound really simplistic, you guys. I'm not that complex of a creature, really, but I think the meaning of life is literally to just live it. You know, because think about it. The babies who are born but they die maybe after their first age, like being a year old. What about them? What would they have accomplished? What were their dreams? Or what would their dreams have been like? What was their purpose? We don't get to know that. They didn't get to define that themselves. So why should I obsess over that? What the meaning of life is. You are an individual. I'm an individual. The stuff that I like is not going to be the stuff that you like. So why are we trying to put a definition to life when there is so much in this planet going on to absorb? You know what I mean? So that's why I just like to say the purpose of life is to just live it. Because look at me. I am considerably in good health. Like the last time I had blood work done, I had a clean bill of health. So clearly, I'm making good decisions when it comes to my health, diet, fitness. But that doesn't mean that I'm immune to dying prematurely. By that, I mean at a young age. Like all these artists that have died in that age 27, they have like that little definition of age 27 tends to be an unlucky age for some artists. Many people have died. Whatever led to their death, hopefully they lived their lives to their fullest. And for me, it's I'm trying to be healthy so that I feel well while I'm alive. Because it sucks to be in pain when you're alive. But really, I'm very, very, very much aware that I can die over anything or anything can take me. When I drive, I'm very conscious of how dangerous that is. That's probably the most dangerous activity that I do in my day. And I have had my close calls, but somehow I'm still here. So that's why I focus on just living my life. Every time I travel and I get on a plane, I'm very much aware of how very likely to not survive I am if that mug goes down. Does that keep me away from traveling and trying to live my life, going to other places, seeing new things? No. So really, that's the meaning of life for me. I don't know what kind of answer you were looking for. Maybe that wasn't it, but that's all that I have to say on that one. Um, what is important in your life? Well, in my life, definitely, I would say connections are important for me, only because other people, the right people who I have accepted and welcomed into my life like fully, they have made it such a better experience for me. Like my mom, for example, I still live with her because I really, really love to have her close. I know how very much not eternal she is. So I wouldn't like to, years from now, be like, oh my God, I listened to everyone telling me that it's not cool to live with your parents and succumb to the pressure of, you're supposed to be independent and this and that. And I'm like, why? What if I love this person? What if I genuinely like to be with this person? Sometimes we have our differences, sometimes we have our arguments, but so does everybody. Every single marriage has had their arguments. They make it work or they don't, you know? So I just like to focus on the things that bring me joy. And definitely, my good connections do that for me. Filming does that for me. Eating my favorite snacks does that for me. Being physically active does that for me. So, like I said, I'm not a very complicated person. I'm not keeping anything from you guys. I got nothing to hide. I'm really, really that simple. So, hopefully, that answers the question. Horribad Gamer says, you have mentioned in the past that you used to write a lot. Have you considered writing again, like a book or publishing it on Amazon or something? The thing about it is that the stuff that I write is pretty much me creating a written record of my existence, meaning that everything in my journal is all about me and how stuff made me feel. And pretty much writing down memories just so that I'm guaranteed to not forget them. Say 20, 30 years from now, when I have my grandchildren, I want to be able to show them evidence of me from the past because I know about my memories capabilities now, but in the future, I know that it changes. My mom has told me stories about it. She's like, there's this event that I know took place in my life, and I'm trying to recall, but I just don't. It's been so long. Or the way I remember it is not the way I thought it went. Other people remember it differently. So say if I died, I want for someone to pick up my books and know what happened, know what was in my mind, no mysteries to me. So, really, that's the fascinating aspect of me writing. Um, but when it comes to publishing it, I don't think that my business that I put on my journals really belongs in public. And filming has actually taken the place of writing for me when I think about it. I talk about the things that I just find intriguing. Like if you and I sat down, what would we talk about? This is the stuff that I would be interested in talking about. But in my journal, it's more about my thought process, if that makes sense. So, would I write a book? I'm never saying never, but when I consider what kind of content it would be, I do not have the skill to put a book out there that I think would do well on a business level. Like there are folks out there who are good poets, some folks out there who can really write some good romance stuff. I'm not that person. I'm only a good writer when it comes to writing about me and my experiences, how I absorb the world around me. But to inform someone, educate someone, advise someone, I'm not equipped with the knowledge to do that. Hopefully that answers the question. Robert Evans III says, Girl, you got me laughing when you said that. I am still going through your videos. That's why I haven't made a comment yet. I guess he's talking about a video I posted. Um, they're good, and I still got quite a way to go when you just putting it out there so fast, but I like it. I like it so much. You're a very conversationalist lady. That's good. I guess that's just a comment without really a question for it. for me. Funny guy 1979 2009 says, I know some women like games because my mom plays them. But my question is, do you play or have you played mobile app games like Heyday and Clash of Clans? No, I have not played any of those, but I have app gaming experience, and that is back in 2012, there was this game called Temple Run that nearly consumed me. And I did not unlock all of the levels, but I remember being very, very close. Another game that I was absolutely obsessed with is called Unblock Me. And guys, I am amazing at it. If I can film myself playing it, I want to show you. And then there was tic tac toe, of course, which I was just mind blown by the fact that anything that's in your mind, there's an app for it. Connect Four, which the the AI would absolutely whoop my rear. Like it took me about 2 weeks to be able to win one game. Um, and then what other apps have I played? That's all that I can recall. But the one that really had me hooked for like 2 years was Temple Run. Also, do you remember the board game Payday? I don't. I have been looking for that old game for years. I'll ask my mother about it and I'll get back to you on that one. The Mr. Man 221 asks, what advice would you give to someone who's younger than you existing in today's society? That is actually a video idea that I have. So, but if I had to give a very simplistic answer, I would say, my dearest, you do you. Because people are going to try to dictate what path in life you should take. And that is a very quick way to endure, ensure your misery. Um, like, let me give an example. For me, in my senior year, everyone kept pressuring me about what I'm going to do when I graduate. Are you going to college? What college are you going to? Have you applied for college? Have you gotten a scholarship? And I'm like, mother effers, I'm not even planning on going to school. I'm tired of the life of a student. I'm ready to be out there and be doing stuff, be working, be building. I have too much energy, too much passion to be stuck in a classroom, you know? So I know that higher education could have supplied me with a few extra things, but I have already spent 13 years inside of an edifice. I'm ready to be out and be doing things, you know? So I was burned out mentally as a student. So I said, if I go to college, I am not going to do work. And as a person who has integrity, I want to be responsible. I want to do well. I want to go to school to take it seriously and not rely on this is something people would tell me. Uh, when you know how much you're paying for it, you will be motivated to get your work done. What is that? That seems to be a very irresponsible reason to be involved with something. And I currently know someone who's working on his master's, and I can sense just how much of a life he doesn't have. Like assignments pile up, and you're this big ball of worry. I did not want to be that person because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to handle that. And not only that, but you have to be responsible about the financial aspect of it. I could have applied for scholarships left and right, but that doesn't mean that my education was going to be paid for. This is a bill that's going to follow me for the rest of my life, especially when the economy is the way it is. Places are not hiring. You can have a degree, but if you don't have experience, nobody wants you. So, why would I not do myself a favor, which is avoiding loans, student loans? So, to a younger person in today's society, I would be like, Find out what your talent is and try to make money with it. Be your own boss because it sucks to work for someone else. Seriously. I am going to ask some dumb questions now. You don't have to answer them. If a zombie apocalypse broke out at any given time, what would you do to ensure you survive? Okay, there's something that you guys need to know. I know what zombies are, like just dead beings coming to life, right? But I have never really watched a zombie movie or played a zombie game. So I'm not entirely sure about the manifestation of zombies. I just look at them as parasitic. But I guess if I was seeing dead shit coming toward me, trying to get me, I don't know what I would do. It's one of those things that it has to happen in order for me to know what kind of peril I'm dealing with. But I guess I don't know, guys. That's a very difficult question. It's like months ago I made a video on what would my contingency plan be if in the event of a nuclear fallout, and I said I don't fucking know. Like it has to happen in order for me to go about it, you know. So, anyways, would you play football, soccer, or Quidditch? If Quidditch, what position would you want to play? I am very much offended by the fact that that's even a question. Who would not choose Quidditch? Like, I mean, you know what it's like to be riding on a fucking broomstick and you can fly and then, like, you can. There are three rings that you get to throw things through, you know, like a hoop. It's like basketball on a broomstick or soccer on a broomstick. Of course, Quidditch is cooler. It's definitely more fatal looking, but you know, you also have the mentors chasing you around if you're a particular student. So who wouldn't want to do Quidditch, you know? But if I had to play Quidditch, I would be, I don't know the proper terms for it, but I would be the person who guards the hoops because let me tell you, your girl can block. I'm very good at defense. That's what I'm trying to say. If you had superpowers, would you join the Avengers of X Men? Okay, you pushed the X Men button. You gotta understand, when it comes to superheroes, the X Men are my favorite heroes ever. Tear me down, come at me, tell me that you disagree, tell me that they suck, tell me that they're not cool. To me, they're awesome. It's just that I feel that in the movies, they haven't um, been given the proper representation. But Logan is the shit. You know, I'll have Logan any day. But my favorite mutant has always been um, what is it? Cyclops. But honestly, it's because I thought he was handsome. But there's nothing special to him besides being the leader. But in the movies, he's never been a leader. He's been this emotional little bitch that I'm tired of. So I'm hoping that the new version of Cyclops is going to really represent him like he's supposed to. I have not really read the comics, but I know that the X-Men are better than that. So I just feel like in the movies they just haven't been all that, you know. But I would definitely be an X woman. The Avengers are cool. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm Team Cap. I'm riding with that guy. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to practicality and me actually fitting in, I see myself better as an X Men. After choosing who within that faction would you want to team up with? Well, with the X Men, I guess it's. Are there teams in the X Men? I mean, I know that there's the Magneto's Club, but they're not the X Men. They're. What are they called again? I called them the Frats. But, anyways, um, you know, so I guess I would roll with Storm and Cyclops and all them if I'm that good because, you know, they're the stronger mutants. So I would have to be strong myself in order for me to fit in with them. You know what I'm saying? And I have no idea what my superpower would be because what superpower has not been taken already? You know what I mean? So I would have to think about that one. Would you ever go skydiving or scuba diving? I have sorta done scuba diving. I say sorta only because I've done snorkeling, but I could dive because I have a really good lung capacity. But I have never done it with the tank, which I think that's what scuba means, right? But yeah, between those two, if I had to completely immerse myself into it, I want to do skydiving because I love heights. Your girl can fly. I am not terrified by heights. So you're just going to have to trust me that I would not regret that choice. And if I ever have the pleasure of going skydiving, I'll find a way to film it or find someone to film it or, you guys will hear about it. But that's certainly what I want to go for. Let's see. What fictional universe would you want to live in if you had the chance? You guys, this is such a tough question for me because I have always asked myself between Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon, where would I live? At the end of the day, I choose Pokemon only because it's more physically safe than the Dragon Ball Z universe. But at the same time, I like that in the Dragon Ball Z universe, it's all about fighting and your body has talents like ki, energy, flying, strength. But Pokemon, I like animals. Pokemon are like animals, pets. So why would I not want to choose that? Um, but I always narrow it down to those two, but I know there's many more fictional places like the Harry Potter universe is one, the what else? X-Men, let's call it Marvel universe, DC universes. But honestly, I think I would settle down for Pokemon. If I disappoint you with my answer, sorry, not sorry. But there's also the Zelda universe. I think that's a pretty neat universe. But when I think about it for practicality, no, no, I'm not messing with Ganondorf. Let's see. What do you like to have for breakfast in the morning? Biscuit! Chicken biscuit. What keeps you motivated when things get boring at work? My colleagues. Because let me tell you, I work with some crazy, funny people. I would not trade them for anything in the world. And eventually, I'll approach them and ask them if they would like to join me in a video because everybody has an exclusive, unique personality that deserves to be put out there. If I can be the person to promote them, I will do it. But yeah, you guys need to meet this one colleague of mine who makes really, really good impressions. He is currently working just for me on the impression of this one shark that laughs really terribly. God, I forgot the name already, but it's survival something, I think it's called. But anyways, it's this shark that is on a loop and he laughs like hua 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 hua. I can't get enough of that. It's the best 30 seconds of my life. So anyways, do you like theme parks? If so, what theme park would you like to visit more often if given the time? Do you have a favorite ride from any of them or a favorite memory? To tell you the truth, I've never been to like a big theme park, where there's rides and all that type of thing, like, a theme park. But honestly, when I think about it presently, the idea of it doesn't excite me. So I'm gonna have to say I really don't like them. And if I were to explain why I'm not attracted to them, I'm the kind of person who, where the crowd goes, I go the opposite direction. That's all you gotta know. May sound boring, but if you were planning to hang out with me in that manner, I would do it because I welcome new experiences and I know rides can, bring a whole another level of adrenaline to you. But like me saying, oh, I dream of going to a theme park, no, no. Leon, Dante, or Snake, who would you partner up with for a mission if you had to choose? Snake, all the way. If you were given the opportunity to debate a feminist about feminism, be it a Hollywood actress or YouTuber, who do you think you would go up against? Honestly, I do not watch that many people on YouTube, really. I am aware of this lady called Anna Kasparian from the Young Turks. Um, and I hope I'm not mean, but sometimes I have trouble tuning into her because her voice kind of stresses me out a bit. Nothing wrong with her personally, but when I hear a playback of her voice stresses me out, and it could be because of the teachers I had in the past who sounded kind of like her, like that pitch. Um, and then I've seen some of her debates, like is it Politicon or something that is called, and she participated in one of those. And honestly, I'm not about competing against someone or debating someone. You have your opinions, you have your ideas. Good for you. But I have my opinions and I have my ideas, and I expect to be respected for it. So I don't like to really have my opinions to go out there and be all about defending them. No, stuff is the way it is. Let it be. If you need change in your life, change. But what I feel about feminism presently is that it tries to create issues where there aren't any. And I feel like a lot of information that's put out there is pretty misleading. And most of you guys found me thanks to that little video that I thought nothing about called A World Without Men, in which I was just sharing a story of how appreciative I am that guys mainly dare to go out there and put their lives in danger so that I can be living comfortably. But then somehow it gained traction, and then I've been told stuff about how my scope on the matter is limited, and I'm like, I'm not trying to be the one who has the answers to everything and to be fair, because I'm pretty ignorant on some stuff myself. Like, I don't know everything about politics. So, in a debate, I wouldn't be armed properly to defend myself, you know? But when it comes to that video, all I was doing was like every video that I ever make, telling a story. Just that was happening to me. Thank you guys for doing what you do. That's it. You know, and then I also shared the fact that I don't tend to really connect deeply with other females. And then you guys supplied your opinion. To some of you, I replied and I said, you know what? In my experience, I'm not cool in the female group because my interests differ from theirs. Like, nobody was ever a gamer when I was in my adolescence. So, if girls do not play games and that's what I did with most of my time, how am I supposed to be fitting into their group? Am I going to be depressed over that? No, I'll find people who like games just like me, and I'll, hang out with them. So that's why I happen to have a lot of friends who are guys. I nowadays, presently, I love to discuss things about life, like why are things the way they are, or aviation and stuff like that. Guess who are the primary members of those communities? Guys. So if guys are the ones who handle that, then they're the ones who are going to compose most of my social circle, you know? So I don't hate women, but if I cannot connect with them, I'm not going to try to force myself to be cool with them when I don't need that. I don't discuss makeup, I don't discuss fashion trends. I don't do any of that. Why would I integrate myself to a group that's going to make me miserable? That's it. So to answer the question, no, I do not wish to go up against anybody because I don't have anything to contribute, really. I'm simple. I'm really, really simple. Let's see. Even though ever thought of writing a book, would it be fiction or nonfiction? Nonfiction, and earlier we went over that. Oh, sorry, I was reading the same thing. What is your worst fear? Wasted time. And the reason is because that's one of those things that you simply just cannot get back. And I absolutely abhor when people do not have a sense of time. Um, and the reason it's a fear for me is because when you think about it critically, let's talk about it from the relationship's point of view. You spend many, 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 many years with someone only to find out that they're the wrong person. I can't handle that. So that's why I like to just find out as early as possible whether or not I'm compatible with someone and try to let go of that position because I have been caught up in situations where I gave someone extra time when they clearly were not right for me. And that really messed me up. So, yeah, my biggest fear is wasting time in anything, really. My job. I know that my job, in a sense, is a waste of time because it's not going to get me to where I would like to be in life. But for right now, that's what I have and what I can handle. So I have to roll with it and just, to the best of my ability, make it work for me and take advantage of it. Everything that I do, everything that I learned there, I feel like it will become relevant to me in the future. I have learned patience. It's been very relevant in my personal life. So, little skills like that. It's like in the midst of all the negative, pick up the positive from it. So, I hope that you see why that is a fear. Who would you rather fight, a killer clown, a demon, or a voodoo practitioner? Definitely a clown because I don't play with demons, and voodoo is I stay away from it. What artist would you want to collab with to write a song? If only I could sing, I would definitely try to get my girl Amy Lee of Evanescence to collab with me, only because I admire her style. Piano style, voice style. That girl knows what she's doing. So, yeah. But I know that ain't gonna happen because as a musician, I definitely do not have a future. So, I ain't even gonna try. Do you watch anime? Yes, I do, but not very extensively. All I have messed with is Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, Rurouni Kenshin, and a little bit of Gaiva, and One Punch Man, and that's it. I also watched the Devil May Cry anime that came out back in like 2007 or 8. It's no good. Look, you're smart and beautiful, but don't push it. I don't know what that's about, but anyways. And then the last comment that I have is, would you rather have a pet dinosaur the size of a chihuahua or a chihuahua the size of a dinosaur? I would have never thought about that. Pet dinosaur size of a chihuahua or a chihuahua size of a dinosaur. I would definitely have. Hold on, that's tough. I don't even know how to think about this. Ollie asked that. Um, Pet dinosaur. I think I would go with the pet dinosaur, the size of a chihuahua, only because, look, I'm all for big animals. Like I like dogs, but they have to be big dogs, you know? So, but the fact that dinosaurs are really like extinct, the possibility of me actually having a tiny one, like a small one, sounds cool, but it depends what kind of dinosaur. Because, look, I've seen Jurassic Park, and there are some dinosaurs out there that I would not care to meet in person. But when I think about it, just a miniature dinosaur, I think it would be cute. But that was a tough question. I'm not sure that I'm actually satisfied with my answer. But when I think a chihuahua being huge, like brontosaurus huge. I'm worried about the cleanup process, you know what I'm saying? And then the diet that this chihuahua would need to support such proportions. So I'm pretty sure, I'm sure about my answer. I definitely would choose a pet dinosaur the size of a chihuahua. Well, guys, you guys have been posting something as I've been rambling, so I will pretty much scan through what you guys have said, and I'll try to get to as many of your comments as I can. But I'm getting ready to wrap this up. So, are you doing a Q&A? Yes, this is a reply to an earlier video that I made like a month ago about Ask Xamry because I've always wanted to do this, but I didn't feel like I had a big audience. But now, since you guys are here, I'm like, yeah, let me do this because I've seen other channels do it and they had so much fun. So I want it to be cool. Ollie says, hey, I say, hey. And then these are responses to comments. Okay, yeah, he told them that. Okay, thanks. Finally, I caught you live. What's up? Hi. I'm actually live quite often, but sometimes I'm shy and I stream invisibly, but I'm trying to show myself more often. Are you taking questions here? Yeah, I guess, in a sense. Sweet PlayStation shirt. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I've had it for a while. I just don't wear it much. Planes are safer than autos. That is true. So that is actually what calms down my pre-flight anxiety. How old are you? I'm old enough to keep myself interesting. Highly doubt she's answering questions have probably from a previous Q&A video. Yeah, that's kind of true. But any outstanding questions here, I'll get to. I love you, Zam. I'm still enjoying 420. I love your voice whamming. Thanks so much. I am a zombie. I'm a zombie who collects used condoms. Who are those guys on your wall? Like I said, they're just singers, just fictional characters, friends, musicians, and someone I don't know, and then Solid Snake, of course, and then Superman, and then, of course, Superman not being Superman, and then Titanic non survivor, Chris Evans, Captain Americaning without being Captain America. Just anything or anyone who I see that I like is up here. All right, that's all you gotta know. Let's see. Where did I leave? Those guys on your wall look like James Bond. I guess so. Don't worry, I will take care of you. I am your guy. Well, thanks a lot. It's good to know that there's someone out there who I can also count on. She don't like Asians. It's not that I don't like them. I ain't got no beef with them. It's just that I ain't related to them. That's it. Like, I care what you think. X-Men aren't real men. That's true. None of these guys up here, when they're in their fictional roles, are real men and stuff. All Asians care what I think. Okay, this girl isn't classically hot, but she's very girly. That makes her hot. Do you jump rope? I don't. I was never good at it, to tell you the truth. It's crazy how Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. I think I cannot imagine someone else doing Wolverine. Like, yeah, if he doesn't come back, like, it's said, then I hope that the newcomer really does the character justice because he was good. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? Definitely an introvert. I may seem all chatty and everything here because, I'm alone in my room in my house, but if I'm in public, I get anxiety. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? See, 5 years ago, I had no idea that I would be here. So to try to picture where I will be 5 years from now, I don't know. But I just hope that I am a better version of my current self. Some Pokemon items, yeah, because Pokemon Master first and YouTuber second. What is your sign? I'm a Leo. Are you double jointed? And yes, I am. I think that's it. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining me and for your questions and for the additional questions that you posted here. I definitely had fun doing this Q&A. It took really, really long, but you guys know me. I like to give you very detailed answers. Some are more concise than others, but this was definitely fun. So I will definitely, as time passes by, periodically do another one of these because it's a cool way to interact with you guys and for me to also get to know you. So yeah, this was a pretty good experience. It exceeded my expectations when it came to how I would feel upon producing this. So anyways, good talking to you again. Till next time, Zam, and have a good day. All right, guys. Thanks so much again, and I'll see you soon.